One warm spring evening in the small town of Boone, North Carolina, 15-year-old Sophia Ramirez was busy in her little garden behind the house. She was planting sunflowers, humming a tune from her favorite TV show, when the silence was broken by a thin, plaintive squeak. Sophia froze, listening. Her fluffy kitten, Ginger, who was playing nearby with a ball of yarn, pricked up his ears and darted toward the source of the sound. Sophia's heart pounded with concern, and she dropped her garden trowel and hurried after him. In the far corner of the garden, under an old oak tree, she saw a touching scene. A small sparrow, its feathers wet from the morning rain, was sitting on the damp grass. Its tiny body was trembling, and its thin legs could barely hold it in place. The sparrow's black, shiny eyes, like beads, expressed a mixture of fear and faint hope. Ginger, full of curiosity, sniffed the bird, touching it now and then with his soft paw. His movements, though cautious, frightened the sparrow. It froze, not daring to move, and looked at the cat and then at Sophia with a silent plea for help. Without hesitation, Sophia knelt down and slowly reached out her hands to the sparrow. The bird, though trembling with fear, did not try to escape. It seemed to sense the kindness emanating from the girl. Carefully lifting the sparrow, Sophia felt its tiny heart beating in her palms. Without wasting any time, she hurried into the house, holding the bird tightly to her chest to warm it. Inside, Sophia took a soft towel and began to gently wipe the sparrow's wet feathers. She turned the hairdryer on to the lowest setting, holding it at a safe distance so that the warm air gently enveloped the bird. Gradually, the trembling in the little body subsided, and the sparrow's eyes, now less frightened, watched Sophia intently. They showed gratitude mixed with curiosity. After the sparrow dried off, Sophia decided to feed it. She chopped up some boiled egg and mixed it with a little water to make the food soft. Placing the mixture on a small jar lid, she brought it to the sparrow. At first, the bird only sniffed the food, not daring to try it. But Sophia waited patiently, whispering kind words. Finally, the sparrow began to peck, hesitantly at first, then more and more boldly. Each little bite filled Sophia with joy as she felt that she was doing something important. That evening, Sophia built a cozy nest for the sparrow out of an old shoebox, lining it with soft towels and pieces of fleece. She placed the box next to her bed so she could keep an eye on her new friend. The sparrow slept restlessly, occasionally opening its eyes and looking at Sophia, as if checking that she was still there. Her presence seemed to calm it, and soon it fell into a deeper sleep. Over the next few days, the sparrow began to get used to Sophia's house. His timidity gave way to curiosity. He began to jump cautiously around the room, exploring new corners. His wings, still weak after the rain, prevented him from flying, but Sophia helped him recover. She came up with simple exercises. She placed a box a little higher so that the sparrow would try to jump on it, or held it in her palm, allowing it to spread its wings. Every morning she opened the window to let in fresh air and sunlight, and the sparrow, sitting on the windowsill, gazed eagerly at the blue sky. Sophia's family, her mother Laura, father Miguel, and younger brother Luis, quickly fell in love with the little bird. They named the sparrow Pip, which, according to Luis, perfectly suited its ringing chirping. The house was filled with laughter and the light flapping of wings when Pip began his first attempts at flight. Ginger, the kitten, also accepted the sparrow. He no longer tried to play with it too actively, but simply lay nearby, watching Pip jump around on the carpet. Rumors about the unusual guest quickly spread among the neighbors. Sophia's friends who came to visit were delighted with Pip. They sat on the floor watching the sparrow boldly jump around the room or sit on Sophia's shoulder. The elderly neighbors, especially Mrs. Clark, who lived across the street, considered Pip a sign of good luck. She said that in her childhood, sparrows were considered a symbol of hope. Children from neighboring houses asked Sophia to retell the story of how she found Pip over and over again. And although she was embarrassed, she happily shared it. One day, Sophia's friend Emily suggested writing about Pip in the local newspaper, the Boone Chronicle. Sophia was hesitant at first. She didn't want her actions to seem special, because she was simply following her heart. But Emily convinced her that the story could inspire others. Sophia agreed, and soon a small article appeared in the newspaper with a photo of Pip sitting on her shoulder and her smiling, holding a sunflower in her hands. The article was titled, "The Girl from Boone and Her Winged Friend." The story caused a real stir. People from neighboring towns began to come to see Pip. They brought Sophia sunflower seeds and books about birds, and some even offered to help with food. Sophia always emphasized, "Pip is not my pet. He is my friend, and I just want him to be happy." Her sincerity touched everyone who heard her. Meanwhile, Pip was getting stronger. His feathers, once dull and matted, now shone in the sun, and his movements became confident. He began to fly around the room and sometimes even flew out into the garden, where Sophia watched him from the porch. Pip always returned, landing on her shoulder or on a branch of the old oak tree, as if to thank her for her care. Their bond was special, not just friendship, but mutual trust. One day, a local ornithologist, Mr. Thompson, came to see Sophia to examine Pip. He confirmed that the sparrow was completely healthy and ready for life in the wild, but noticed how attached Pip was to Sophia. "He considers you his family," he said with a smile. Sophia nodded, but a slight sadness arose in her heart. She knew that one day Pip would have to fly away. Inspired by Sophia's story, the town of Boone decided to hold a small festival called Winged Friends Day. It took place in a local park, decorated with garlands and bird feeders. Sophia and Pip were guests of honor. During the festival, Sophia gave a short speech. "Every living creature deserves care. Sometimes it's enough to just reach out to change someone's life." Her words made many people think, and some even shed tears. Pip, sitting on her shoulder, chirped loudly, as if in agreement. That evening, when the festival ended, Sophia sat on the porch, looking at the stars. Pip settled down next to her, snuggling up to her hand. She stroked his soft feathers, feeling warmth and peace. Ginger lay at her feet, purring, and the starry sky above Boone seemed endless. Sophia knew that Pip would fly away one day, but their bond would remain forever. Weeks passed, and Pip flew into the garden more and more often, exploring the world. But every evening he returned, perching on the windowsill and chirping until Sophia opened the window. She read books about sparrows, learned how to care for them properly, and even made a feeder so that other birds could find food too. Her house became a small refuge for birds, and Sophia became a local legend. One morning, when the sun lit up the Blue Ridge Mountains, Pip spread his wings and flew higher than usual. He circled the garden, chirped louder than usual, and flew off toward the horizon. Sophia watched him go, feeling both joy and a slight melancholy. She knew that she had given Pip a second chance, and he, in turn, had given her something priceless: the understanding that kindness can change the world. The story of Sophia and Pip remains in the hearts of the residents of Boone. Every time someone saw a sparrow perching on a sunflower in Sophia's garden, they smiled, remembering the girl who taught them to see miracles in simple things. And Sophia, looking at the sky, always knew that somewhere out there her little friend was flying freely, but would never forget her. If you liked this story, like it, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell. There are more heartwarming stories ahead from the world of nature, people, and their struggle for life.